Now, Sanani Mangisa is a former South African national women's hockey player and Olympian. She's been raising awareness about the role mental health plays in sport and how athletes tend to lose their identity when they retire. CGTN Sias Plessis spoke to her about her struggles both on and off the astroturf and began by asking her about the role the COVID-19 pandemic has played in shining a light on the subject and why it's so hard to talk about.
It's my pleasure to welcome Sanani Mangisa. She's a 112-cap veteran for the South African national women's hockey team. She was goalkeeper and she's been to 2 Olympic Games, Beijing and London. But this time around in Tokyo, she was a fan watching on her couch. Sanani, what was it like during this pandemic watching the South African women's team in action?
It was an interesting game to watch as well. I was mindful of what the athletes probably went through this past year, but at the same time just showed resilience to give us some of the greatest moments. You know, some people call it the pandemic games, but we'll get such good experiences and moments that we'll remember in Olympic history.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shone a bright light on mental health and sport. Why has it been such a tough subject to talk about?
I think it's something we've never openly spoken about. Its existence is, you talk about resilience in sport, mental toughness. We've spoken about these things for a long time in different wording, different forms. So, and also athletes have been in scenarios where we can't give up. We have to tough it out, we have to keep going. So the more dialogue we have about it, the more understanding we put to it, and more just, from a human level, understanding each other from a human level, that athletes go through all the stuff we go through first, just on a heightened level with the whole world watching.
There are obviously times in your career where you had your battles with mental health. At that point, being a national hockey player and playing on the biggest stages in the world, was it a case of just having to soldier on?
I've always been in that environment where our mistakes were heightened, so my level of I need to perform for the team was always higher, so the pressure I put on my own self was higher. So it's those moments of understanding that, hang on, you can take 2 minutes and be like, I played well, but what's the context? So it's putting things into context and understanding, and it's anxiety to perform at a high level.
Not enough has really been done for athletes retiring. Can more be done to sort of facilitate or may help that transition happen?
So we've got to understand that, okay, I know hockey, I've done it for 15, 20 years, 112 caps, but then corporate and business and whatever you're transitioning to, let yourself learn. Allow yourself to learn, take information in, read, and say, I'm going to make a few mistakes. But if I'm pitching up, doing the work, hard graft, it's going to come together. Because I think that's what we don't allow ourselves. We want to be Sanani, the 2-time Olympian in the business world as well.
Obviously, a lot of media attention has been put on Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, Ben Stokes, taking time away from the sport for mental health reasons. What's your take on it?
Kudos to Naomi, who was just like one of the, there's been other athletes who've taken time out, but on a global superstar level, in the middle of a Grand Slam. So it's allowing ourselves that space and then allowing other athletes, because now they've seen an avenue to say, hang on, I'm able to take time off. But the question again, does it get to that level and that heightened if we speak about it earlier? And there is a level of you must toughen up. Sport is hard by nature, but I think we need to be careful to tell those athletes to toughen up when it's really difficult in those situations.